It all started with the letter. It was waiting for me when I arrived home after my late afternoon class, sitting patiently under a pile of other envelopes, like a fat spider hiding in the shadows until its prey appears. Of course, at the time, I had no idea how it would eventually destroy the life I had so carefully built, poisoning every aspect and draining it of its vitality and essence. I should have smashed that spider when I had a chance. "You got a weird letter," Bryn, my roommate, said, as she stood by the stove stirring a pot of macaroni and cheese. She had tied a hot pink bandana around her wild, sandy-colored hair, as if to contain the explosion of curls. It didn't seem to work, as tendrils spiraled out every which way. I glanced at the pile. They look normal to me.
"Not those. The one underneath. From the post office."
The post office? I shifted the envelopes aside until I found a plastic bag containing scraps of a handwritten letter. A note starting with, "We care," and ending with, "Please accept our apologies," was attached to the front. I tapped the bag. Wow, what a mess.
"I know, right? It's really chewed up. Guess that's why they sent it to you like that. I didn't even realize they did such a thing."
"Yeah, it happens," I said, as I squinted at the envelope with a return address I didn't recognize. "We got a couple of these when I worked in the mailroom that one summer. Sometimes the letters get caught in the sorting machine. But I don't know why they would even bother sending this to me. It's gotta be junk mail."
"That was my first thought too, but look at the address," Bryn said. "It's from Redemption, Wisconsin. I've never gotten junk mail from that weird town, have you? Ugh, just thinking about what goes on there gives me the creeps. Besides, it looks like a house address, not a business."
I eyed her. "How do you know the difference between a house and business address?" Bryn rolled her eyes.
"Marigold Lane? Come on, that hardly sounds like a business district."
She had a point, but it still didn't make any sense. "But I don't know anyone in Redemption," I said, shaking the plastic bag to get a better look at the letter inside it.
"Didn't you say you used to spend summers there?"
"A long time ago," I said. "I don't know who would be sending me anything now, especially through the mail. Wouldn't someone I knew back then be more likely to message me on Insta?" Bryn scooped up a couple of macaronis, blew on them for a moment, and popped them into her mouth.
"Maybe it's a condolence note."
I jerked my hand back like I had been burned. My parents had died in a car crash just 10 months before, and while I put on a brave face around Bryn, doing my best to pretend like I was getting my act together and successfully moving on with my life, inside I still felt lost and alone, untethered from normal people and things. How could I focus on the day-to-day living when I was now an orphan, the last living member of my family? Except that isn't completely true. A little voice deep inside me countered. There is one more. I squashed it. I wasn't going to think about her and how she abandoned me. As far as I was concerned, she might as well be dead. Bryn glanced over as if finally noticing I hadn't responded. Her expression softened.
"Sorry. Didn't mean to blindside you.
Do you want me to open it?" "I'm okay," I said, gritting my teeth as I peeled back the tape and carefully dumped the contents onto the table. A few words and phrases immediately jumped out at me. Stalker. Alone. What have I done?
"It's like a puzzle."
Bryn had abandoned her meal on the stove to join me at the table.
"You're going to have to piece it together to read it."
"Hopefully there won't be too many missing pieces," I said, poking at the paper. Now that it was on the table, I could start to arrange the scraps. See, right here. Look how it's torn. I paused, sucking in my breath with a hiss. Bryn glanced at me, her baby blue eyes concerned.
"Janey, what just happened?"
I couldn't answer. I shook my head violently and pointed at the signature. Bryn followed my gaze, but I could tell by the way her eyebrows knit together that she wasn't getting it.